How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the House of Fata Morgana. Oh, and last time, well, we had a bit of a twist. Fetch, Van Maria's freaking the devil incarnate. I don't know why, but it's so much worse when it's somebody who you trust that's betraying you so thoroughly. And on both sides. Jacopo is definitely... he's got problems. But it turns out that what's been mostly going on is he's been being manipulated. And he's just so poor at communicating that he just believes everything he hears. And the white-haired girl's also terrible at communicating. And she has no clue what's going on because she's so trusting. And it's just a big mess. And now not going to be a good ending, that's for sure. But here we are. Of course, it's not going to be a good ending. What am I talking about? It's the House of Fata Morgana. But let's find out what cruel twist of fate is held for the white-haired girl this time around. And Jacopo, poor Jacopo, caught up in a revenge plot because their families used to feud and his technically won, and she has decided to take it personally after all, even though she said she wouldn't. So I suppose there's nothing else to do but to just see how it goes, find out, and yeah, it's gonna be bad. I can feel it. Master, are you shocked? Or do you intend to lament this development? I was deeply sorrowful, though to a lesser degree about Maria's true intentions, and more my shameful inability to recognize her machinations. At the time, I too believed that Maria was the white-haired girl's one only ally. It was not until everything had drawn to a close that I discovered the truth. I elbow popped, sorry. Then I now know how the tables end, you see? Yes, that is correct. Well aware that it was not the case, I told you the story in a way that suggested she was on the white-haired girl's side. Oh my, I wonder if that constitutes lying to you, Master. I merely wanted to present the events to you in order, starting from the beginning where Maria's ill intentions were still veiled in shadow. I wanted you to know the same feeling of consternation I had experienced. Oh my goodness, look at that picture. She's so sad. Oh my gosh. The white-haired girl continued to write letter after letter. They were all addressed to her dear husband, detailing her ever-present love for him, and her desire for the relationship to return to what it had once been. My beloved, I am sure your hands are quite full right now, but that is fine. It does not change my love for you. Do you remember the day we went out together? That was perhaps the most wonderful day of my life. I had a truly incredible time. I still treasure the gift you gave me, for it is the one and only present I have ever received from you. That reminds me, Maria tried to teach me how to dance. I doubt I will ever progress beyond the being laughably bad, though it would be nice if someday you and I could dance together. Perhaps when you have a little respite from work, we could go out again, and maybe take the carriage somewhere a little further away. And we could dine at a restaurant more to your liking. Although I think the cuisine at the other restaurant was exquisite, personally. Do I perhaps have an unrefined palate? Maria altered the letters before delivering them, however. She changed the address from Jacopo to another man. She would cut away the top part of the page with Jacopo's name on it, and in the space below write a different name. She could not have mimicked the white-haired girl's handwriting for the full length of the letter, but Maria could make a single name look adequately similar. And it would, after all, be quite difficult to notice minor discrepancies in such a small quantity of text. Again, another letter? Why does she keep writing these? To Jacopo's eyes, the modified letters looked like professions of love for another man. The more she inscribed of her feeling for Jacopo, the greater the turmoil grew within his heart. Even though her love was directed toward him. I can't believe what I'm reading. A restaurant more to your liking? I knew it. You have been going out with other men, all the while pretending to be chaste in my presence. I still treasure our gift you gave me? For God's sake. You have to be freaking kidding me. But I've ensured she can't leave that room. She'll never see this man again. In time she'll let go, and so will he. Listen to me. Resigning myself to the hope that everything will fix itself. How did I end up like this? Such a pitiful man I've become. On the surface, Maria acted quite heartbroken at the sight of their suffering. But when she returned to her room, the walls echoed with her cackles. She derived a great deal of entertainment from their squirming. The more they writhed in anguish, the deeper her satisfaction grew. Definition of a psychopath. And both the white-haired girl and Jacopo continued to place their confidence in Maria, the one responsible for everything. The white-haired girl had never possessed a sense of distrust, and so she took everything Maria said as truth, continuing in her agony to write to Jacopo's letters. Letter after letter after letter. My beloved, are you still tied up with your work? It has been some time since we last saw each other, so I know not what you've been doing of late. I only hope that you remain in good health. I would, if possible, prefer to tell you everything in person, but I do not have the courage, so these letters are my only option. Am I adequately expressing my feelings? My love for you? If you have the time, I would appreciate a response. You're never gonna get a response, though. Not as long as I'm intercepting them. There's no way I'm allowing these, or your love, to get to him. I could just stop reading them. It would certainly make things easier. But if I don't, my imagination will run wild. And fantasizing about her writing to this other man and what she might be putting in her correspondence. I'd be better off knowing the truth than torturing myself with fantasy. That's kind of how I am. Oftentimes, it's better for me just to know the bad news, because if I know there's something bad in the air, like if I know something bad has happened but nobody tells me, my brain goes into full tilt, crazy overdrive. And it's unfortunate because like I do have like utmost trust of like people around me, like the ones I care about, but I don't trust random people. Like there was one night, my wife was out working and she got invited to a work dinner. So, you know, she called me and said like, hey, I'm going to be late. I'm going to go to dinner. I'll come back as soon as I'm done. So I expected, like, she gave me the call like around like 5:30. And it's like, oh yeah, so I'll expect her to be home around 7 o'clock, you know, like good hour and a half. You know, that's kind of what I would expect for a typical big dinner. But then she didn't come home for another hour like after that. Like I didn't hear from her until like 9:15, and so like from 8:30 to 9 I was kind of freaking out, and like I was paranoid. I was like, what it was, did she get drugged off? Did she get kidnapped? Did something terrible happen? Like, you know, like she said she wouldn't be gone that long and she was late. It turned out that the place they went to was like a dinner and a show, and so she just was there, and her phone like had like run out of batteries, and so when I would call it would just go to voicemail. It was kind of an overreaction. Thankfully, I didn't really truly overreact. Like, I wasn't like calling the cops and calling like her coworkers trying to figure out where she was. Just more about like while I was waiting to hear something, my mind just went crazy. It didn't help that I was just at the time watching those like crime, true case solve things, like Forensic Files. That's what it's called. It's a show about like crimes, like as they actually happened and how they were solved. And like so. In my head, I was thinking about all of these like murders and kidnappings and stuff, and so like that didn't help at all. But yeah, no, Jacopo, unfortunately, and I share that trait together, and that's dangerous in this situation. It's the better option. Jacopo accepted every letter Maria delivered without fail. He would merely nod as he accepted it, his face contorted in discomfort, and then pore over the text while he was alone. I assume he did not want her to see his heart sinking into darkness. Had he put his trust in his wife rather than Maria, he would have almost certainly been able to realize the letters were directed at him, despite the altered recipient name. Everything she wrote about concerning him, after all. How could someone who had lived an isolated life as her have so many identical experiences with two distinct men? Why could he not find it in himself to trust her? Perhaps doubting her was simply easier. If you were in his position, would you trust her? Ooh, that's a good question. I'd be probably more inclined to. I have a trusting demeanor of people who are close to me, who I feel like I get to know. He didn't really get to know her very well, though, which is a big part of the problem. He does feel like he knows Maria, so it makes sense why he would trust her. I really couldn't imagine myself going this far without really trying to have a confrontation. I tend to be very direct when it comes to this kind of stuff, like emotional, like I feel like you're going around on me. I need to know the truth, kind of thing. I really haven't had that I haven't had to have that conversation before, but like it's what would happen because other more sensitive topics I've dealt with in similar manner. The problem is that he's incredibly insecure. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I would think that he was having an affair, and that's why. Because oftentimes people who have affairs are paranoid that their partners are cheating on them, which is a really ironic thing. That and I think part of it is because like they feel like they're getting away with it, and so they feel like anybody could get away with it, and so why wouldn't their partner somehow be sneaking around on them? But it's so silly because it's like we see ourselves as an exception to the rules, because like us cheating on somebody for some reason isn't as bad as them cheating on us, you know? It's a bizarre thing. Granted, never been in those shoes, but in psychology we talked about it, and it's just fascinating how that all works. But I think in this case he is innocent, except of having a temper and not trusting somebody who he should talk to. But again, arranged marriage probably makes that a little harder than a normal relationship. Would you maintain faith in her, the woman who had waited so long? Would you believe the feelings she professed for you were genuine? She continued writing letters, day after day, week after week, without hiatus. She had, by and large, run out of things to say, but that did not put an end to her letter writing. She simply repeated what she had written before. Nevertheless, they did not see one another in person. The white-haired girl, forbidden from leaving her shed, could only wait for her husband to pay her a visit. Must have been hot in that shed. My beloved, there is a little bit of fog out today. Weather like this reminds me of my home country. I was born on an island perpetually covered in a thick fog. I'm not saying I would like to return, but thinking about it does make me feel rather homesick. Does that happen to you? That reminds me, aside from the one time, you've not told me much of your homeland. It would be nice if we could pay it a visit together sometime. Speaking of which, before I left, an exhibition of some sort was held there. I was unable to attend, but perhaps you had a chance when it was near you. I imagine you would have with your interest in new technology. Next time you have a chance, I would love hearing what they had on display. An exhibition? Ah, that's right, there was one. It was a year ago. It got quite a bit of attention since it was supposed to have been held in Paris. I was busy, preparing for our wedding. I had no time to attend an exhibition. And while I was doing that, giving you, the woman I had never met before, my full attention, you were giving yours to a different man? Has this been going on for that long? Had he simply stepped up and taken action, he could have put an end to the stream of letters, each of which had given rise to further misunderstanding. He needed merely to ask the white-haired girl in person, to whom the letters were addressed, whether they were describing what was true, and whether the twisted threads of his confusion would have been unraveled. But he made no such effort, relying instead on Maria to serve as his intermediary. I feel as though I have now, at long last, come to understand just what kind of man Jacopo was. While he had a great deal of pride in his capabilities, he had far less confidence in himself as a person. If he'd had faith in himself, perhaps he could have had faith in his wife as well. Had his pride not been so twisted, perhaps he would not have been so afraid of being hurt. Indeed, he was afraid. Afraid of being rejected by her. Afraid of his fear to face a reality where his beloved partner scorned him, where the woman he loved laughed at him disdainfully, where she and countless others mocked him. The thought of it paralyzed him. The environment in which he had been raised played a significant part in his state of mind, I expect. Occasionally, the name on the letter would change. Maria was making the white-haired girl out to be having affairs with multiple other men. She could never do any such thing, of course. But Jacopo, thinking Maria to be his only ally, believed everything she said. If I could figure out who this man is, and where he resides, I could make him tell me every last detail about his relations with my wife. But what if that information went public as a result? If news of her infidelity spread, and were to reach the Cosca? Oh, yeah, that would be bad. The fate of the Barazatis is in your hands, son. There is a limit to what we can accomplish on this tiny island. If we don't turn our attention outward, we will wither away and die. Not just this family, but the whole land will find itself famished and emaciated, defenseless against invasions as we waste away. I won't stand by and watch my homeland crumble. Sure, our methods may be cruel, not always worthy of praise, but they produce undeniable results. The unfortunate thing is, the previous Campo Famiglia was an incredibly resistant man. It took all he had to merely preserve his small chunk of the world. But I'm not like that, and neither are you. The most I can do is lay the foundation, to make it easier for you to work, which means everything rests on your shoulders. Both the future of the Berzati family, and the future of the country. It all falls on you. The marriage is happening too quickly. It would be madness not to hurry, given the circumstances. You should be well aware of that. We need the Berzati name climbing in social ladders in short order, or we're going to have everything ripped out from under us. If the woman isn't to your liking, you can find another one that is. She's only going to be your wife in name. But listen to me, son. You must not allow her to fool around. What are the most vital things to have in our society? Money, power, yes, those are important. But what matters most is respect. No one's going to follow a Campo Famiglia they can't respect. They'll try to undermine your authority. Once someone deems you weaker than them, courtesy goes out the window, and that's a judgment that's near impossible to overrun. Betrayal spreads like a fire through a forest. And once the flame is lit, both of us come crashing down. You must not let anyone look down on you. You must not let anyone think you're the kind of man a woman can walk all over. If, by any chance, your fiancée is ever unfaithful to you, kill her before anyone finds out. Fetch, man! Your place is above others. Climb to the top. Never be content with someone above you. And never forget the weight you carry on your shoulders. This is your responsibility. The face of the Berzati family is in your hands. Kill anyone who stands in your way. Aim for the top. Obtain true wealth. Don't show weakness to others. Show you respect. Oh, man. This is not going to end well. I must keep intercepting her letters. I must keep keep her locked up. I still have work to do. I cannot allow anyone to learn how she's disgraced me. Kill her. That's how my old man says to handle it. That's the last resort. It's not yet. Gosh darn it! It's downright wrong for me to even be having these feelings for someone. Master, your carriage is waiting outside. How are you coming along? Coming along? Oh, that's right. I had an inspection scheduled today. I'll be right out. Have him wait. Is something the matter, Master? You look a little hazy. I'm fine. If you're not feeling well, you should stay. I said I'm fine. It's not your job to try and interfere with my condition. Yes, sir. Dang it. Keep it under wraps. Act like normal. You can at least do that much, darn you. Take care on your trip, Master. Yeah. It's not the usual coachman. I also feel like I've seen him somewhere. Your fault. What? Hey, speak up. Die, Jacopo Berzati. Assassination. Gah! Master? There's a knife in your stomach. Oh no. Someone! Anyone! Silence. Don't make a scene. Call a doctor. Yes, sir. Oh, I remember. I've seen him before. That's right. I put his factory out of business. I needed him out of the picture to expand my own business. I Guess he held a grudge about that. I should have been more careful. Blood flows with surprising abundance from a stab wound. It's not stopping either. Son of a gun. The world is going white. Come on now. You have to be kidding. Oh, that wasn't expected. I know very well what kind of man you are. You wouldn't hesitate to lead a blind man off a cliff if it furthered your own goals. You make money off others' lives. You stand upon a mountain of corpses, cackling at everyone below you. For a man like you, love comes as naturally as flying. Guess what? You don't have any emotions, and you never have. You've always been this way. I bet that was Maria. My childhood was day after day of mockery. You're just a bunch of nobodies trying to pretend your name means anything, they would say, sneering and glaring. Maria treated me as equal. Who's that? But she was the only one. Oh, it's Jacopo. I wanted to show them up. And to do that, I had to rise to the top. Or at least high enough that I could laugh at them. My old man wasn't the only one who wanted that. I did too. Excuse me. I had to make them acknowledge that I had value as a man. Who actually wants to go through life being laughed at? I had to make them recognize that what I did had value. I needed neither love nor compassion to do it. Or that's what I thought. In the beginning, I only ever intended to use that woman. I simply needed her to wield a name for myself. When she served her purpose, I could simply cast her aside. That's what I thought. Or rather, that's what I endeavored to make myself think. But deep down, I felt bad for her. I pitied this woman who was being made to marry a man she'd never even met before. I'm sure that's what she wanted. I'm sure what she really wanted was to have a regular marriage with someone she loved. But because her family wanted to cling to their name, she wasn't afforded that opportunity. I wanted to do something for her. It didn't have to be anything grand. I genuinely wanted that. The day of our wedding was when I first saw her. Her face, partially obscured behind the veil, was gorgeous. And crucially, she was smiling at me. I'd expected to find only gloom and despondency in her eyes. But instead, she smiled. The moment I saw that smile, I wanted it to be a permanent part of my life. I truly did want to ensure that she always had a smile on her face. He went about a weird way of doing it, though. Of course, not entirely his fault. Ugh. Is this my room? I'm alive? Dang it. Oh, I feel so nauseous. What time is it? The world's a blur. So hot. You mustn't get up. Huh. The doctor said bacteria entered your body through the wound. Because of that, you have very high fever. What are you doing here? I was told you'd been badly wounded, but thankfully it was not fatal. How did you make it out of... Pardon? Oh, I see. Maria opened it. Would you like some medicine to reduce the fever? It should help you feel better. Yes. No. Huh? Stay by my side for a little longer. Is there anything I can do for you? You can ask me anything. Come on, man. He's not gonna do it, but I wish he would. My hand. Your hand? Could you hold my hand? If you don't want to, that's fine. Like this? Your hand is quite cold. It probably feels that way because of your fever. So, yes? I've done some regrettable things to you. Please forgive me. To tell you the truth, from the moment I first saw you, I I felt like you were what I had been searching for my whole life. Half if you'd like. I felt like I had finally found you. But I couldn't act around you the way I honestly felt. You should get some sleep. Could you keep holding my hand until I fall asleep? If you don't want to, that's fine. Man, he even talks kind of like me. Man, no! I can't be relating to Jacopo. He was a freaking jerk. Oh, man. My hand is in yours. Thank you. You appear to be quite delirious, Master. Those are things you should be telling your wife, not me. Aww. It was all a dream. Of course it was. It wouldn't be that easy. She would never come to my room. She's involved with other men. Jacopo, may I come in? I have another letter. My head. This gives me a headache. I'm just so frustrated. Gosh darn it. So stupid. The white-haired girl's persistent letters did not improve anything, but simply stoked the flames of misunderstanding. This continued for several months. Though outside the sun shone with gentle warmth of spring, the cold, bitter winds of winter still relentlessly blew between Jacopo and his wife. Not to leave her shed, she had never received a reply to her letters. The white-haired girl's only source of information was Maria. Week after week, her circumstances remained the same, but something else was beginning to show signs of change. Her mental state. Oh no. It's pointless, madam. You're only wasting your time at this point. I saw him throw your letter into the fireplace. He's not going to read anything you write, no matter how much your soul you pour into it. He cares more about money and work than love. That's the kind of man he is. Just give up and file for divorce already. No. I will get through to him. Everything will go back to normal. I have faith. All my letters may go up in flames, but my faith will not be lost with them. As long as I keep writing, eventually I will get through to him. So I cannot stop. I cannot. Do you have any idea what he says about you, madam? Jacopo doesn't trust you in the slightest. He goes around calling you a witch. Of course. A man-eating devil woman. It's awful. There's no one as pure and beautiful as you. He says I am a witch? Listen to me, madam. He never for a second actually loved you. He just wanted the influence attached to your name. Wanted to mingle with the upper class. He used you. But last year, when we went out together, he gave me the Panascus wheel, one at the photography shop. He had the owner make it especially for me. He was just trying to win your favor. If he really cared for you, he wouldn't have gotten you a paper toy. He would have gotten you something like a ring or a necklace or some perfume, a nice dress. Something women really like. Has he ever given you anything like that? He doesn't have any feelings for me? I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand to see you going through this, but I don't know when to shut my fat trap. I went too far. Last thing I need to do is be hurting you worse. You know, for everything I've said, your unwavering dedication is really impressive, madam. I know I've suggested you get a divorce, but be honest, part of me kinda doesn't want you to slip up. Despite knowing you're staying with him just because you're in pain. You've made it this far, I'd like to see you make it all the way. Maybe he actually will start paying attention. Your sweetness can melt even the heart of his steel. Yes, you're right. I will keep writing, waiting. Keep writing, and I will not divorce him. Yeah, alright. So please, keep delivering my letters to him. You are my only remaining connection to the outside world. Oh yes, one more thing. If it's not too much trouble, could you tell me how he's been and what he's been doing lately? I do not have much else to write about. If so, I could at least relieve him of some of his work-related stress. I am his wife, after all. I should be able to do that much for him. I am his wife. Her dedication to him was perhaps closer to an obsession, but she did not seem to be conscientious of the fact that her obsession was killing her. She was visibly losing weight.
What weight?
Her spirit was breaking down. It is said that emotions fade with time, but the opposite can also be true. The act of waiting, fervently believing for so many months despite the object of one's affection not returning them, can tear apart a person's heart, crushing their soul, shattering their spirit. No matter how radiant or how thick-skinned they may be. Fetch, man. With enough time, it will wear anyone down. No one is immune. It's pointless, Jacopo. Wait all you want, you won't be getting her back. If she's gonna be writing letters, she could at least write one for you. She looks so pure, pretty as an angel. But goodness almighty, it's only how she looks. You've changed a bit.
What? Have I?
The old you would have been yelling and screaming, chomping at the bit, and going storming into the madame. Now you just go quiet.
I'm just a little tired.
You could break it off then.
What?
You've already made a name for yourself in high society. Nobody's going to suddenly start ignoring you. You've more than put up her family name to good use. To put it in your own words is no longer necessary. This isn't something I really want to say, but the madame has never liked you. She was married off to a total stranger and forced to leave her home. I'm sure she felt very alone, and so she sought the companionship of other men. Anyone who wasn't you probably seemed quite attracted to her. So without getting violent or threatening to kill her or anything, just end it already, quietly, without a fuss. It'll be easier for you that way.
I cannot.
Because you still love her? That's wonderful, Jacopo. After everything, you still love her. That's just blind Slavish devotion at this point.
Perhaps it's a foolish, unhealthy obsession, but I still do not wish to sever ties with her. I cannot get the image of her smile out of my head. The look of utter elation on her face as she looked through the penasticoscope. Gosh darn it, I can never say that word. Those captivating eyes beneath the veil at our wedding. I will never, for as long as I live, forget those sights.
Color me surprised. You're a sentimental one. Well, I guess you always have been kind of mushy, haven't you? True your heart, despite how many you look. That's not a bad thing, though, in my book. There's nothing but pain in it for you now, but all you can do is wait until she stops writing. But don't worry, if you need to let off some steam, I'm all ears. I'll be here for you until she breaks it off with the other men.
No, that will not be necessary.
What?
I know very well that things cannot continue as they are forever. I knew it from the beginning and still couldn't do anything. This time I'm planning on facing her myself.
You serious, Jacopo?
Yes, I've relied on you for too long. I was afraid of what I might do to her. I didn't want anyone to find out that my wife was being unfaithful, and I thought the best way to ensure that was by locking her up from anyone else. The situation is not going to improve unless I do something. If I allow this to continue as they are, sooner or later, word of her infidelity will leak. So before that happens, I must face her myself. I must do something.
It's probably best if you didn't. I didn't tell her. I can tell her anything you want. Make sure things start improving.
I appreciate everything you've done, and I apologize for getting you involved in our troubles. But I'm going to end it now. No, I must put an end to it. There's a problem between me and her.
You might get violent again if you go see her face to face.
Yes, I might. I might do something that would look rather bad for me. But it's reached a point where, until the two of us face each other, it's never going to go away. It took me far too long. Yeah, I frickin' did. I wasted too much time trying to find my resolve.
I See. You'll need a way to break the ice then.
Break the ice.
Right. If you've got some convenient excuse to talk to her, it'll reduce some of the tension and make it easier to bring up when you need to bring it up, right? Here's an idea. That transcontinental railroad you've been funding. That's supposed to be opening up pretty soon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That'll be a message by telegraph when it happens, right? You can ask her to be there to hear it. And then you can invite her to ride the first train. You put her heart and soul into this project. It's finally becoming realized. It's going to be an amazing day for you, and the day like that's ripe for more good things to happen. It's going to be an accomplishment of a lifetime. Don't look so down at the dumps. You're sending trains across a massive continent, carrying them people in this country's dreams. Who says you can't stick a dream of your own on it, too?
Right. Yes, you have a point. A railroad that spans from coast to coast. She's a sickly girl, which makes long trips difficult. But this new rail system should make them much less draining. It would allow me to show her the world.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm getting excited myself. It'll go great, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Great, someone's getting pushed off the train. Oh, my sides. Seriously, they're gosh darn right, both of them. They keep on trusting me and keep on getting hurt. They don't have to be going through any of this. Ah, my goodness, Maria, you're terrible. All these people calling me the Holy Mother. I bet the real Mary's rolling in her grave. There's a lot of F-bombs in this part, Huck. Now, I must say I wasn't expecting you to make a move, Jacopo. Shame that. Squirming loser, paralyzed by insecurity is a better role for you. If they do end up figuring it out, tough. Doesn't hurt anything, just takes me away my bit of fun. I don't understand why he's so infatuated with this railroad. I mean, I do sort of get romanticizing steel, but my kind of steel is a little smaller scale. Anyway, I suppose it's about time to get things moving. No matter how this plays out, you will not have a happy ending, Jacopo. You're gonna get a real taste of just how much I despise you. Maria! Oh, there you are. Yeah. What is it? I'm on break right now. You were assigned to clean the cellar today, weren't you? Well, head maid's saying it hasn't been done yet. What? I did! I cleaned it! Just a casual once-over, but hey. Well, do it again, and do it right this time. Because if you don't, it's going to fall on me. And that's supposed to make me give a darn? I mean it. You take care of it. You get enough special treatment as it is. Yeah, right. I heard you the first time. I'll take care of it. And don't you forget it. Oh, for goodness sake, why should I have to be the one to tell her? Is she gone? Yeah, what a pain. Who cares if the darn cellar's clean? Not like anyone's bringing guests down there. Yeesh. At least unless it's a beast. Guess I should take care of it. Better than the tongue lashing by the head maid. Yeah, why'd I have to be a maid anyway? What a dank place. Oh, it's so dark and humid down here. It makes me feel gross. Huh? Someone there? Hello? Hello? Is there anyone in there? Came from further in. Whoa. Yeah, seriously dust back here. Who was supposed to clean this last week? Well, clean the whole thing next time, dang it. Just make my job harder. Disgusting. God, darn cobwebs. Oh no. I do not want to clean this. Ow. Oh, what stack of stuff poorly? I've got to fix this whole mess. For the love of... What's this? Something carved into the floor. Never noticed this before. Someone got bored one day? What do we have here? It's mostly illegible. Let's see. It's not written in English, but my native language. But it's not modern, it's really archaic. Why on earth would someone from my old country's language be carved into the floor of the mansion built here in the New World? Most of it's illegible, but I can make out one section. Our lives shall be forfeit to the witch's curse. Nevertheless, we must lay bare those who have sin upon their souls, for the redemption of those who are pure. Should ye mean not to dispel your cause, we implore of you, O witch, to mark with it only their bloodlines. The blood of the sinners flows through those who dwelt within this house, but not I. Ooh, so it's a part of a curse with the witch or something. What in the... A witch? That's crazy. That's crazy. But why does this handwriting look like mine? It's just coincidentally similar. No one's handwriting's perfectly unique after all. Oh, so maybe the white-haired girl's not the only one who keeps reincarnating? Huh. Well, if they are reincarnating and are tied to the house somehow, could she be the spirit of Nellie? That would be interesting. She certainly is kind of psychotically vengeful enough. Why am I so sweaty? It's not like it's hot down here. Nope, get it? Didn't see anything. Not a chance it's real, just a tasteless prank. This is silly. There's something in the box. Is that a painting? Has that always been here? Huh? White hair, fair skin. Is this the madam? But then, why is the face all torn up? And her clothes look really old-fashioned. The painting seemed worn and faded too. Something about it feels off. Not sure how to describe it. It's very creepy. Unsettling. What the fetch? Interesting. The writing's on the floor in this painting. What is with this house? It's just a painting. Nothing to get weirded out over. Ah. I bet I know what happened. Jacopo probably slashed up in a fit of jealousy. He is a simple man. Seeing this probably wouldn't put him in the best mood. Ha ha ha. What was that? Is someone there? The door is open? Nobody's there. What's this? A painting? Who could have left it here?
That'd be really creepy.
Is that me? Why, but my face, it's been cut. No. Why would someone have painted this? Just to do this? Who would do such a thing? You're like a witch, my dear. Like a demon. Your very presence brings misfortune upon others. You're cursed. No, I'm not. I'm not. Was it you, Jacopo? Did you have this painted so you could destroy it? Do you really despise me to that extent? Why? Why do you... What did I ever do to make you hate me so? Why?
Oh, she's gone.
All I'm doing is waiting for you.
You worthless tramp. Are those ears only for show? This house has no need of a garden. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Silence is all your fault, every last thing. Then say goodbye to your freedom. I'll kill you.
Does this mere act of waiting impose upon you? Does my mere presence pervert you? Would it be better if I were gone? Would it be better if I left this mansion? If I left you? I don't think I can wait much longer. There's no end in sight. I can't take it any... There's no end. No. I will set a deadline for when I give up waiting. When the project you pour your heart out and soul into is complete. When the railroad opens, I will be finished waiting. and then it's over. Oh no. The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing nearer by the day. The day was, coincidentally, the deadline that the two of them had set for themselves. Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And that day approached, she continued to write letters. Now, if this is going to be accurate, it should be taking place in Utah. I believe that is where the last spike was drilled in. The golden spike. It's actually on the state quarter, because it was a pretty big event for Utah. She wrote letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expected she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By forcing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all the misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With her constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently waited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that final day, and see with your own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand.
Well, I was thinking about wrapping up soon, but if it's only the last day, I think we're probably just going to have to see it through to the end. Oh, this thing's stretched. Okay. Come on, boys. You can do it.
The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found a resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her. He had said heartless and cruel things to her, even gotten physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in respect to her infidelity. Of course, the very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not in fact taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He waited to start over with the white-haired girl, to make his new future with her. With that desire burning in his heart, he stood before the door of the shed and called out to her.
Are you awake? It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation. As such, I will not enter your room unless you have given me your permission. So may I please come in? You won't even give me a response. Right. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in. But please at least hear me out. Do you remember the day, shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon, and you called every little walk we took a honeymoon? I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with the upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean, and the more perturbed I get. I'm sure I said things that hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the phenascotoscope, you smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt that that's actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete with the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one has ever showed you anything of the sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman like your status would take any interest in a phenascoscope at all. I imagine you've sorted it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, if just for a moment I caught your eye, even if you started seeing other men afterwards, the moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was at its core nothing but an arrangement between our parents, in exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day I loved you. I yearned to see your smile if I'd loved you my whole entire life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but the railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. The joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute, and the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured a telegraph, so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling crowds at a telegraph station, but here you could celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Would you be there at my side? Please, say something. I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did was unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. Well, fantastic excuse. Like he said before, there's no excuse. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something, anything. Please, please. You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. I won't hurt you, I promise. The door. It's not locked. Who opened it? Hello? A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtains appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in her room. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced around his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day, but to his eyes it was pale and hollow, for the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk. The phenascoscope. I thought she wasn't going to leave until the next day. It was the only present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made out of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you'd thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the phenascoscope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of the day that year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter? Beneath the ever-rotating phenascope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mio Jacopo. The salutations written in the native language translates as follows. My beloved Jacopo, did the fruits of your dream turn out as you'd hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. What are the gaps in there for? Is that just like her handwriting sloppy? I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave me the Phenasc's wheel. I am being presumptuous. I'm sorry.
I thought I would keep writing for you forever, no matter how much you had hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought that you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I am not good enough for you. I am going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, my record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blurred. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry this was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Finascus wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. 5/8/1869. Wait, what's the date today? What the heck is this? He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letter she had written, her dearest treasure, her professed love for him, and above all, the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement. Come on, put it together, Jacopo. You waited for me? How can that be? The joining ceremony's tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. Why? Why did you have to leave then? I'm here. I came for you just as I planned. The ceremony's on the 10th. A second later, Jacopo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th, 1869. However, due to bad weather, a labor dispute had been postponed for 2 days. This can't be. I made sure you were informed. I had Maria. The madame is having an affair. Maria. No, you couldn't. Scattered fragments of memory began coming together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him his wife's supposed unfaithfulness, and thought the letters had been addressed to him. Thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter she'd mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man, but in fact she had been referring to the Finascus sitting atop his desk, spinning in the wind. At long last, he finally made the connection, and at the same time he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted, Maria. She never even once betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited unwaveringly for me, and I refused to believe her. I caused her pain again and again, but his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken. She was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out as they had. But he was much too late. Maria, why would you do this? Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. But she was not in the room assigned to her. Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! Oh, man. Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, but no one had the courage to speak up as their master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he had closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. From within the room he thought he could see someone's presence. When he opened the door, he saw comfortably perched upon his own chair a woman. Oh, it's going to be the white-haired girl, isn't it? And she's not going to be okay. I've been waiting, Jacopo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's... Ooh. Nice room you got here. Though I guess it's only natural, you being the man of the house and all. All these fancy furnishings. You do know stuff that's too good for you, right? And then me, I got that barren little maid's room. Stares me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Clear the air with your little lady yet?
Maria!
I love the look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better then.
You know good and well that she's not even here anymore.
Well, yeah, but I want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear from your own mouth that you could keep a leash on your woman, so you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse and start shouting like you always do.
Why, Maria? Why would you do this?
Why? Why do you think? Because I freaking despise you. I've been trying to figure out how I want to end things, but then they just fell apart all on their own. The fates are smiling down upon me, I guess.
Nonsense. She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony. And I was going to see her on that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed.
That's what you get for pulling it all in my hands. For thinking I'm the only one on your side. What, did you think I would just tell her like a good little maid? Not a chance. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but then you got different got the dates different. Absolutely perfect.
Maria, is that how you've always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me?
How long? How long? How dense can you be? Must be nice living in your little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next Campo Famigalia? Oh my goodness, my sides. So,
You've always hated me.
at the very least, I've loathed you since the minute we had our reunion. At first I did try to convince myself you had your reasons. Didn't make me feel any less unfair though. You had all your money, your power, and everything else you stole from me. And then you go and get hitched to this pretty little lady? Oh, don't you try acting like you're the victim here. This is all on you. Do you have any idea how I felt? Falling from grace, made your maid, having to stick up with you? Do you have any idea how infuriating that was? Or did you think I didn't know anything? Did you think I didn't suspect anything? If you did, you've got your head way up in the clouds.
So you were motivated by your grudge against my family, the Berazzatis?
Precisely. That's exactly it. Your father wants so badly to be the Camfamigalia, so wanted to be in power, that he murdered my dad and grandpa. They say it was a carriage accident, but the ground is all torn to heck when it happened. You want to tell me the kind of carriage accident caused it to explode? As soon as my dad and grandpa died, your dad took over as Campo Famigalia. The balance of power in my factions began to change. The family, and anyone who was tied to the Campanellas, was either exterminated or exiled. The Berazzatis took control of the city. My grandpa's Casca became your Casca. No one in their right mind would be naive enough to think that the Berazzatis didn't have a hand in it. The great Campanella family, bitten by their pet dog, except the dog had rabies, and as a result, in time, that lush historic land will wither away and die. My dad and grandpa buried the dried up earth and are screaming in their graves even now. Can't prove me wrong, can you, Jacopo? And now, my first in line to be the next Campanella is you, his son. Naturally. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? Slaughtering my family, leaving us to wallow in the mud, while you live here like a king. Because of what your family did, I don't have a home to go back to anymore. No house, no prestige, I have nothing left. That's outrageous. The Campanellas are supposed to be running that city, but instead, you filthy Berazzati cult curs are crawling all over like some kind of infestation. I'm a legitimate Campanella, but I'm stuck being your maid. If I hadn't been born a woman, I could have become the Campanella after my father and grandfather died. But because I'm a woman, I couldn't retaliate. I just had to sit on my hands and watch the tragedy unfold. It was absolutely miserable. So I had to make you suffer as well. I had to make you as No, I had to make you twice as miserable as I was. You had no reason to hate on anyone but me. Why did you make her a part of this? Did you have some grudge against her too? Not particularly. I actually rather liked the madam. Sweet, pretty, kind-hearted, timid, and fragile. Trusted every word I said. A splendid little toy. You thought of her as your toy. Now, can you really call me out for that? You can't. You have no right. You never cared one bit about anyone else. They are all footstools to you. It's a little too late to find yourself a sense of morality. This whole thing could have been avoided if you two had just had a single conversation. But instead, the both of you come crawling to me saying, "You're my only ally, Maria." How dense can you be? Of course, I thought you were my ally. I trusted you, as I'm sure she did too. Then you should get your eyes examined because you can't see a thing. Maria. My goodness, it was beautiful. The way you two blindly trusted me, creating your own misunderstandings, causing your own pain. How you could never seem to get on the same page. Watching it all fall apart. Maria. Is that everything? Is that everything? The extent of your grudge and all you did? Yep. That's everything. All that's left is for me to kill you. Well. Okay. Hold still now. I wouldn't want to miss. Maria, you... Does our past mean nothing to you? She kind of looks like a pirate right now. Was just an empty promise? How could it, when you remembered it so clearly? Fine, I'll explain to you for a little romantic boy. Bad grown-ups will eventually take advantage of good memories. It's time I finally returned this to you, Jacopo. The carriage you gave me, packed with your disgusting sentimentality. The cartridge. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Killing you ain't the end, though. All you Burzati curs. I'll send every last one of you straight to hell. My revenge had just begun. Like, wait a minute. Is Bloody Mary like an actual person? Like, wasn't she like some kind of crazy psychopath that went around murdering people? She's crazy enough. Even if you had been a man, you wouldn't have been a suitable kind of Megalia. Huh. You should have aimed between my eyes, Maria. Jacopo! Got her. Oh! Hi. Because you shot him? I don't know. Why? I keep hearing noises. In a panic, I pulled the trigger, and from the barrel of the bullet went flying. Quite literally, right between her eyes. Would anyone even believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? The rain just keeps on coming. Wonder if we'll be able to go home today. Hey, Jacopino. Say something, you little wuss. Be quiet. You're gonna give me a headache. Oh, the lightning's way louder than me. Ah! Ah! Ha! Ha! You jumped, Jacopino. You're such a baby. You jumped too. Stop calling me that. Don't be scared. Don't cry. I'm not crying. Your eyes are damp too. I'm not crying. Not at all. Not a bit. Liar. There's no end to this rain, is there? I'm fine, if it doesn't stop. There's nothing at home for me. You don't want to go home? Your parents don't get along, huh? That's got nothing to do with it. Liar. You've got it good. Everyone loves your grandpa. Whenever anyone needs something, they come to him. Now there's a great man. Huh? How'd my grandpa become a part of this? Oh, no reason. Not everyone likes him. He gets just as much hate as love. Grandpa's not really a model citizen. He's mostly just shrewd. Are you jealous? I'm not. My old man is, though. Huh, is he now? Well, your dad's got his good points too, I think. Like, I don't know, seems to be the kind of man who can accomplish big things. Though it seems to be a lot stricter to my grandpa. Oh, come on. I don't get you. What are you clamming up for? No reason. If you don't want to go home then, how about we go somewhere far away from here? Huh? Once it stops raining, let's get out of here. Head up to the capital, find some work. We can make it work, the two of us. Oh, and we'll bring Nero, of course. If we could. That would be nice. Break free of the city, outdated traditions. Head somewhere bigger, more forward-thinking. If only it were possible. It's alright, Maria. I know you were just joking. We wouldn't be able to find work anyway. If the two of us ran off, we'd be starving in a month. You'd have to be blind not to see that. You're right. Let's go home once the rain lets up. Yeah, once it does. But until then, I know, let's sing. Sing even louder than the lightning. Then maybe you'll stop crying, Jacopino. I'm not crying. Come on, let's sing. I'm not singing. Lolly, 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 la. And he sings too? I'm a bad singer, man. Maria, I may not put it into words, but I trust you understand that I consider you a dear friend.
Listen to me, Jacopo. My actions were justified. I did what I did for the betterment of the city, this land. The Campanellas are too conservative. Under their control, this country will atrophy. Progress will continue to lose steam. If we don't push forward, we will fall further and further behind. Before long, you will be made the next Campanella. But until that day, you will cross over to the New World and establish the Costa there. Unify us, bolster us, make us strong. I'll handle things back here. I won't let the Campanellas try and strike back. But you want Maria too. It's dangerous to keep a Campanella so close by. She has to be taken care of. If you insist. But do not let your guard down. Betrayal is a constant companion in this world. I'm giving you my revolver. Keep it on you at all times. Glory everything upon our blood. Glory everlasting upon our blood and upon this earth. The best I can give you is a job as my maid. If I show you any more obvious preferential treatment, the Berzantes are liable to step in. Money, power, respect, and enough authority to not take orders from anyone. I thought that if I could obtain all that, I would be able to give you a freedom, and her as well. I wanted to give you both comfortable lives, but none of that got through to either of you. So sad. Everything slipping through my fingers. Her love, my friendship with Maria, both of their smiles.
Master? What is that sound? So much blood! Maria! What happened this time?
You keep getting stuck witnessing the worst things.
What?
Call a doctor. Someone with tight lips. Do not call the police. And don't make a scene. Got it? If so, then go on.
Yes, sir.
Right. Not everything has slipped from my grasp. My money and influence are all that's left.
That is what you wanted, though, is it not? You sought money and power, no? Aren't you going to go?
Aren't you going to go?
Yes, I will. But first, I would like to ask you something. What do you intend to do from here?
What am I going to do? Exactly the same as before. There's but one thing for me to do.
I see. Will you eventually find solace in your riches? The way I see it, money and power can be your ally, but they can become your enemy in the blink of an eye. If you do not put them in words, your feelings will never make it through to anyone. For unlike money, humans are not measurable by their appearance. failed to communicate to anyone what he held within his breast. He was chained down by his place in society, his pride, his relationships, and his own heart. And at some point, he found himself in a position where he was no longer able to speak his mind. After enough time, he likely forgot how to be genuine at all. Or perhaps someone like him simply would not, even if they knew how. In any event, there are many things in this world that cannot be communicated without being put into words. How sad it is that his tale should end with him without him expressing how he truly felt. How hard it must have been to never clear up his misunderstandings. After Jacopo's confrontation with Maria, the Pacific Railroad was completed as scheduled. Celebratory cheers shook the new world as the last spike was driven into the rails. It was a golden spike, solid gold, by the way. Jacopo, however, could not even manage to smile listening to the telegraph, and I am sure you can guess as to why. The people with whom he wished to share that moment were not there. Shortly following her death, Jacopo held a private funeral for Maria. Then he commenced his search for the white-haired girl. But he did not do so alone. He hired others to help, did everything in his power to find her, tirelessly searching for many, many years. However, he was never able to locate her. And he spent the remainder of his life alone. Money, power, renown, servants. The world around him was always quite lively, but solitude was his only companion. He waited, and he waited, and he waited for the white-haired girl to return. The years crawled by, and with no family or loved ones at his side to care for him in his old age, he died alone. It's so exhausting with all the sadness. This is like the first one was like a horrified sadness. This one was the beast one was more of a like resigned sadness. This is more of a like dragging, loping silence, like a chain and ball around your foot. The drawers are set. And that's the perfect place to stop, so I think that's where we will. How did I like this compared to the other two chapters? I liked the twist. The twist really hit me hard. I kind of saw the other two twists. Well, actually, no. I saw this twist ahead too, didn't I? But I thought Maria and Jacopo were having an affair. So, like, that's the betrayal I predicted. I didn't realize she was literally trying to, like, kill him and take away everything he liked. I also was impressed to see how Jacopo was so much deeper a character than I initially thought. So that was really well written and very fascinating. Like I said, I've got a headache right now. I just feel sad. I wonder... that was intense. But I suppose that's just how it goes. I wonder what happened to her again. Like, did she just go crazy and like just wander off and fall in a ditch? Did she actually survive and live her life somewhere else? Well, I guess we'll never know, but it's so crazy. But I'm really curious to learn more about that writing in the basement and the curse of that witch and like everyone else, and how like it seems like she had this impression that she had written those words in the basement or something. It was interesting, and I want to know where the painting came from, because the painting was of her. So we have yet to have her get her picture done by anybody in any of these scenes. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here today. As always, it's fun to have you. Hope you aren't too drugged down in depression from this episode. But hey, it's a Monday. I guess it's the day we're going to feel sad. But all in all, it was an enjoyable experience. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being part of the channel. You guys really make this awesome. I love chatting with those of you on Discord. I love seeing some of you in the live streams. I'm hoping to make more common. I just finished To the Moon. If you have a chance to see it, it's a fantastic story. I was bawling by the end. But there's no webcam because I couldn't. It's like I've been having trouble with some of these programs. Besides, so just getting a live stream out there that doesn't collapse on me is actually pretty impressive in my book, because I'm just so bad at it. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's saved in the playlist. It's probably not going to show up in the video feed, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Otherwise, just keep watching what you like, and I look forward to reading your comments and hearing what your thoughts were. Like, what did you think about this chapter? I know some of you said it was your favorite, so I'm curious, like, what are the things that really stuck out to you? What are the things that really left an impression on you? Like I said, like the turnaround, the reveal of like Maria being evil was so good. Like, it took my breath away. It was so, like, well done. And the music of this section was fantastic in every respect.
Like I think like the only music I liked more, I liked as much as the jazz was probably like when Maria was in his office, like revealing like who she was really to him. Like that was awesome music right there. Anyway, that's all enough prattling for now. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's a pleasure having you. And until the next video you're watching me, or have to see me in next. I'll see you there.